Hello there, and welcome back to the Galactic Burrito. I am your host, Darien, and right out of DJ's Cantina, in Mos Eisley, Tatooine. Here, I'm joined by my little co-host, my robotic co-host friend here, CB-7. Say hello, CB. That's awesome. All right, we have a lot to get into. And we'll later at the end of the episode, we'll ask CB his thoughts on all this stuff. But first, before we get into the bulk of the episode, which will be a review of Mandalorian Season 3, got some news to talk about, some Star Wars stuff. So let me go to the last bit that we had here. Because last week we talked about Star Wars Celebration, right? And now we got a little bit more information. Let's see here. Let me find it. I'm probably going to go on Twitter. It might be a little bit easier to view all this stuff at once. Okay. So yes, now starting off with the first piece of news, we have a recent report suggesting that the release order of the following Star Wars movies that got announced. The three, Dave Filoni's Mando verse movie, the new one with Rey, and then James Mangold's Force exploration movie. A recent report suggested that they will release in the following order. First, it will be Rey's New Jedi Order. Second will be Dave Filoni's The New Republic. Now, I don't know if these are the actual names or not. So don't get me on this. And then James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. So that'll be last. And apparently Dawn of the Jedi is going to feature an older Rey, from what I read, teaching a younger boy and girl. So I'm kind of confused. Or either that or it was the New Jedi Order. I can't remember. I think it was James Mangold's because I think I read it was going to be jumping back and forth. But I don't know. I'm not sold on the New Jedi Order thing. The whole Rey movie. Rey was the character to me that they didn't make work in the sequel trilogy, and the sequel trilogy was just, it was the whole thing. But I just never really connected with her character that much. She seemed, and plus, like the plot twist. I think I talked about this last week. The plot twist, her being Palpatine's granddaughter, was just it's very underwhelming, you know. I'm interested to see what they do with it. If they could have an older Grogu in there, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I've read theories about that. It'd be about the right time. He'd be about an older age, you know. So that'd be pretty cool. And then Dave Filoni's New Republic, I'm excited about that. I mean, you got the culmination of the Mandoverse, right? And that's really exciting. And then James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, which explores how the Force is found and wielded, and that sounds really cool. So I'm excited about that. Let's see what's next here. I haven't watched Andor yet. I said that last week. I will be watching it soon. I probably start this upcoming week, and we'll review half of the show next week. Or maybe not next week. I don't know. We'll see. And one last thing that we probably should talk about. Actually, we got two things you got to talk about. So let me start with this. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is adding its first free DLC on May 4th. For 2023, the first DLC of 2023. As in a new playable character. It would be Luke Starkiller, available next month free of charge. Luke Starkiller, of course, is George Lucas's original name for Luke Skywalker, and it seems likely that this DLC character will be modeled off the concept art done by Ralph McQuarrie for A New Hope. So that's pretty cool. Doing some concept art stuff there. It'd be really cool if they did maybe some concept art for like Vader or something. I know Vader's concept is really cool. And And the final thing I want to talk about is that Star Wars Jedi Survivor is out today. As we're recording this, which is Friday, the day we'll be releasing. And I mean, fantastic news. I have the game. I start playing at midnight. I guess midnight this morning. I don't know. And I'm having a blast. It feels better in every way than the first one. Story's still building up a little bit. Bit of a slow burn that, but I mean, I think it was in the first one as well. Oh no, sort of. And then I'm having a really good time. I'm gonna keep it not spoiler free right now. First impressions, really good, man. The customization is amazing. I love the customization. You can fix his beard up, his hair. You have to unlock the stuff, but you have to you'll like go through and you'll find them in hollow chip the boxes that BD can splice. And then I mean the lightsaber. I got since I pre-ordered it, I got the hermit outfit for so Obi-Wan from the Kenobi show. So I have that equipped, and I got my purple lightsabers, which is the best color lightsaber, and you guys can back me in the comments about that. But I mean, yeah, I'm having a blast right now. I've only played it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's just fun, man. I'm really enjoying it. I love some of the new abilities, some of the new mechanics in the game is really fun. It's just an all around good time. Um, that's my first impressions of the game. I will be reviewing it once I finish it, whenever that'll be. Maybe next week, maybe week after. I don't know. Um, yeah. I guess with that we can get right into Mando season 3. Um, what do we talk about this? Let's see. So let me pull up the episode count here because I want to know. I want to make sure I'm getting this all right. Episodes. Okay, yeah. So episode 1, which is actually chapter 17, 17th episode overall, is called chapter 17, "The Apostate," directed by Rick Famuyiwa. Um, I I don't know. Let me see. So the armor group of Mandalorians hold a ceremony to induct a young child into the tribe. It's interrupted when the dinosaur turtle attacks some Mandalorians. They're saved by Mando and Grogu. Let's see. So yes, this is when the pirates show up, right? I thought that was probably one of my favorite things this season was the pirate crew led by Gorian Shard, right? Um, I really like pirates and just seeing like space pirates, kind of like that. Especially Gorian Shard seemed very much like a Davy Jones kind of thing there, and I really like that. Let's see, the armorer did tell Mando if the mines of Mandalore still exist, he can become a Mandalorian once more. Because if you remember in the book of Boba Fett, he took his helmet. Well, she told him, "You took your helmet off. You were no longer a Mandalorian. You broke the oath." And he did take his helmet off in the finale of season 2, which was the most emotional thing I've ever seen. And so now this whole task this season, we thought was, I need to bathe in the waters of the mines of Mandalore and become a Mandalorian once again. Renew my oath, right? I don't know. He goes to Navarro and he meets High Magistrate Grief Karga, right? Carl Weathers. And that's why I open it up with Mando, because that's every time I see him, that's what I think. I just Mando. He's a fun character. Obviously, this season we don't have Gina Carano as oh gosh, I'm forgetting her character's name. Where did she play? Wait, hold on. I'm forgetting her character's name. I apologize. She played Cara Dune. That's right. So we don't have Cara Dune in this season because of the whole debacle, like things that had went on between her and Disney. They mentioned her at one point, saying that she's off. I believe they said she's off being a deputy for the New Republic, or something. No, that's not it. She's doing something with the New Republic. Karga, Dijarin, Mando helps Karga fight off a group of pirates led by a pirate named Vane, who is a problem for a couple episodes. Karga offered Mando the position to be a marshal. He said no. Said he came back to build IG-11 because he needed something to come to the minds of the Mandalore to test the atmosphere, right? They revived IG-11. They brought him back, but he resulted back to his original form, right? So he immediately tried to kill Grogu. And Mando makes a stupid joke, and he's like, "That's the way you use your head whenever they knock like the bus down on." It was something. They bring the parts of IG-11 to the Anzellans, right? Babu Frick's people, and they were funny. Grogu tries to hug one of them. And later on, Mando fights the pirates, and Bo-Katan, he meets with her, and she reveals after losing the Darksaber, she's abandoned her plans to reclaim Mandalore and tells Mando to travel there alone. I was into the first episode. It was a decent opening, but I think it set the stage for some. And it set the stage for what would happen in the season, but little did we know it would end off very quickly. Here in this minute, not in this one we're about to talk about, but after this, there's a really pointless episode, and I'm going to talk about it. So Din visits Pelimado, Tatooine, search of a new memory chip for IG-11. Grogu and her get to see each other. She doesn't have one, but she sells him R5-D4, new little robot friend he's got. Little coward. So Mando, Grogu, and R5 go to Mandalore. Second episode, already Mandalore. This episode's called Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore, directed by Rachel Morrison. When they go out there, he sends R5 out to make sure, see if the atmosphere is non-toxic or if it's toxic or whatnot. R5 doesn't return. Mando goes out and is attacked by a bunch of like troll things. I don't know. He went deeper into the mines, and he's captured by this like weird robot spider creature. And sends Grogu for Bo-Katan's help. Let's see. Bo eventually shows up after accepting the offer for help, and rescues Din and kills the cyborg spider thing before bringing Mando to the waters, right in the mines. He immerses himself. He puts himself in the water and restores his status as a Mandalorian. But he sinks deeper into the water, so I guess he like a sudden drop off. I guess he fell. Bo-Katan dives in after him, and on the way up, she sees a mythosaur, and that was the end of the episode. Whole thing I thought the whole season was going to be about wrapped up in the second episode. It's kind of too quick. It was interesting. You see a mythosaur, and you're like, oh, whoa. I mean, what does that mean, right? In the next episode, Chapter 19, The Covert, directed by Lee Isaac Chung. They're only in it at the beginning and at the end. So like Mando and Bo-Katan and Grogu. That's what I'm saying. So it starts off, he and Bo-Katan depart Mandalore after he recovers. She doesn't tell him about the mythosaur that she saw. They get attacked by Imperial TIE squads who destroy Bo-Katan's castle, and they're forced to retreat. And then we switch over to Coruscant. We get to see Dr. Pershing, the guy who worked for Moff Gideon in the past couple seasons. Or maybe it was the first, I can't remember. He's got a pardon, and he finds Elia Kane, which is a woman who used to be a communications officer, I believe. That's part of Moff Gideon's Imperial remnant. And she's part of an amnesty program. So they bring in members of the Empire, and they try to reacclimate them to the ways of, or just acclimate them to the ways of the New Republic. So Kane agrees to assist Pershing in his efforts to continue his cloning research, which he was doing for Gideon, which has been outlawed by the Republic. They go aboard a decommissioned Star Destroyer, I think it was, to steal materials. But she betrays Pershing to the Republic's lawkeepers and sabotages this mind wiping procedure they use on him. So they like wipe his mind again. She sabotages it and it kills the dude, which was crazy. Um, and then we switch back to Din and Bo-Katan, and they arrive at the Mandalorian enclave where he shows the armor, the sample of living waters, and uh, okay, and Bo, because she's also bathed in the. Okay, sorry, I was reading this wrong. I have it written out. Because Bo has already bathed in the living waters, she's welcome into the enclave too, and that's the end of the episode. I think that's the worst episode. I mean, well, it depends. It wasn't good. I think it was just kind of pointless. They set up all that story just for like a little payoff at the end, and I think it's kind of stupid. But yeah, that was chapter 19, the convert, right? Chapter 20, the foundling, directed by Carl Weathers. Grogu is doing Mandalorian combat training. He wins his match. The little boy is fighting, which was the boy that got turned into a Mandalorian at the very beginning of the season. He gets captured by this large bird creature, raptor thing. I don't know. Bo-Katan gets a party to go after, which includes Ragnar's father, Paz Vizsla, the big Mando with the machine gun, and Din Djarin, Mando. And he leads them. They lead them to the foot of the nest. Armor gets a new piece of armor in this episode for Grogu. It has the Mudhorn sigil on it, and it's this big circular panel thing. It goes right on his chest. As she works, Grogu has visions of his rescue of the burning temple. He got saved by Jedi Master Kelleran Beck, who I was unaware of. It's the guy who played. It's Ahmed Best. It's the guy who played Jar Jar. I just thought it was really cool. Redemption there. He played. Kelleran Beck was in that little like Star Wars kids game show or whatever that they did. I can't remember the name of it. At the moment. But he was in that, so it's interesting to see that he's canon. And a few sympathetic members of the Naboo armed forces. Paz Vizsla's over eagerness to save his son, which is the little kid that got kidnapped. Disrupts Bo-Katan's plans, and they have a big aerial fight in which Bo-Katan and Mando rescue the boy unharmed, kill the raptor, collect its babies, and return back, right? The armor replaces Bo-Katan's armor that was on her shoulder, which got lost in the fight. She reveals that to the armorer that she saw the mythosaur, but the armorer doesn't believe her. Right. And that is the end of episode 4. We're gonna kind of go fast to 5 because it was a little unimportant. 5, that the pirates come back to Navarro. Rafe Karga talks to one of the rebels from the past season and asks for his help. And the rebel goes and asks for more help up higher in the ranks of the New Republic, and he is denied. So he goes to find the Mandalorians and he asks them, and they come to Navarro to overcome the invasion, right? Vane was there, he runs away, Gorian Shard is killed, and the remaining pirates are arrested. They learn to welcome back to Karga and the people, because remember they used to live there in season 1. And they welcome back. They're welcomed back, right? And they move into their old base. Armorer meets Bo-Katan, meets with her. He re-acknowledges the Mythosaur's reappearance as an omen that Bo-Katan is the one who can unite all the Mandalorians, and bids her to remove her helmet to symbolize his new position. On the way back to Adelphi, Tiva, the rebel, encounters the wreckage of Moff Gideon's prison transport, which had gone missing during transit, and finds a fragment of Beskar alloy inside. And he asks the question, you tell me Moff Gideon was taken by Mandalorians? And that's how the episode ended. That one was okay, directed by Peter Ramsey. It was alright. It was alright. The ending was it's exciting. Chapter 22, Guns for Hire. They go to Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, and Grogu go to this planet called Plazir 15, where Bo-Katan's former army, now led by Axwos, so one of the guys that was with her in season 2. They set up themselves up as mercenaries. We meet Captain Bombardier and the Duchess, played by Jack Black and Lizzo. Very strange. Jack Black was cool to see in there. Lizzo is interesting. It's just, I don't know. This episode felt more like it was just there for cameos than anything. There's a little interesting story. I mean, some droids in there, separate droids. They say that there's some of the droids are malfunctioning, and we need help looking into it. After they stop a rogue droid, they follow the trail to the Resistor droid bar, and convince the bartender and the clients to help them. They discover that the droids were sabotaged through nano droids in the bar's maintenance fluid, which were covertly imported by Commissioner Hellgate, head of the Planetary Security Office, played by Christopher Lloyd. I was like speechless when I saw him in there. I heard his voice first, and I immediately knew. I was like, "It's Doc." I was right. Confronted, he reveals himself as a separatist before Bo-Katan knocks him out. The Duchess sentences him to exile on their moon. Granted an audience with some Mandalorian privateers, Bo-Katan challenges Axwos for leadership and defeats him. To help her sentence, Mando admits his capture by the cyborg in the mines of Mandalore and his rescue by Bo-Katan, which rightfully bestows the Darksaber to her. And this was a kind of revelation a bit. She picked up the Darksaber and used it to save him, and he was captured, so that means that she is now the rightful owner of the Darksaber, and so now she owns the Darksaber. That was chapter 22, Guns for Hire, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, which, surprisingly, it wasn't a good episode, even though she directed it. Chapter 23, Spies. This one was good. These last two were good. Moff Gideon's back, and he's informed by Elia Kane, the spy from the third episode, or second, whatever it was. The Mandalorian's intent to retake Mandalore. Gideon goes to the Shadow Council, which is a group of Imperial remnant warlords. He requests reinforcements from Commandant Brindle Hux, which is, I guess, the father of Hux in the sequel trilogy, right? And he questions Captain Pelion on the absence of Grand Admiral Thrawn. They mentioned Grand Admiral Thrawn a few times in this episode. That he's getting ready to reemerge. Reassembling on Navarro, Bo-Katan unites the Mandalorian clans and prepares a recon party to go to the surface of Mandalore and locate the Great Forge. Grief Karga, before leaving, presents Mando with IG-12, which is a rebuilt version of IG-11, which has an opening inside that's able to be controlled by Grogu. And this is the most adorable thing. I mean, he hits the button, no, yes, yes, no, no. Like, he just hits the buttons, and he can move it around, and he gave that kid way too much power, but I thought it was cute. So I did enjoy that. I know some people didn't. On Mandalore, they find another surviving clan who's loyal to Bo-Katan. She admits that she surrendered to Gideon after the Night of 1,000 Tears, hoping that their people will be spared further harm. The party finds the Great Forge, but is ambushed by Beskar enhanced stormtroopers, which we see previously in the episode. Which the masks are vaguely reminiscent of the First Order stormtroopers. I noticed that. Din Djarin is captured by Beskar-clad Moff Gideon. He's got his own suit. Thing looks crazy. Who reveals he is planned to complete the Great Purge of Mandalore. He tries to kill the search party, but Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to make an escape for the group. Paz Vizsla, the big guy, stays behind. He fights off, tries to buy him time, but unfortunately is killed by Gideon's Praetorian guards, who we talked about previously in the episode. That sucked. It sucked that he died. It was really unfortunate. He went out though, fight. Went out in a fight. That episode was called Chapter 23, The Spies, directed by Rick Famuyiwa. Chapter 8, or not Chapter 8. Chapter 24, The Return, directed by Rick Famuyiwa, is the finale. Right. Bo-Katan and her squad trying to leave Moff Gideon's base. Upon returning to the Mandalorian flagship, Axwos sends the remaining Mandalorians to reinforce the planetary troops, while he defends the ship from TIE squadrons. With assistance from Grogu, Din Djarin escapes from captivity and seeks out Gideon. It was really adorable. Grogu came in there and broke the guy's gun. He was like, "No, no, no, no," and that's pretty cute. Um, yeah, I like that. They discover um, they go after Gideon, but they discover cloning tanks filled with clones of Gideon who can use the Force, which is very interesting. That he was doing that, a whole Force sensitive army. And Din Djarin destroys them. He destroys all the clones. After a lengthy fight between the Mandalorians and the Beskar and stormtroopers within the base, Bo-Katan, Mando, and Grogu make a final stand against Moff Gideon and his Praetorian guards, in which the Darksaber does get destroyed during that. I thought at one point Grogu was going to die. He was getting chased by the guards, and Mando couldn't get to him. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I wish he would use the Force a little bit. I mean, he's got Force. I know he's probably a baby. He's a baby, and I don't know, but so I thought maybe he should be using the Force. But Axe Woves comes up and rams the Mandalorian capital ship into the Imperial base, and Gideon is consumed by the resulting blast. But Grogu puts up a shield, a Force bubble, and protects Bo-Katan and Din Djarin from the blast. After the battle, the Mandalorians restart the Great Forge at the heart of Mandalore, and Mando formally adopts Grogu. It was adorable. He's now officially his son, and he can become a Mandalorian soon. After Mando takes up honest contract work with Carson Teva, the rebel fighter, and he moves into a cabin on the outskirts of Navarro's capital, as offered to him by Grief Karga earlier in the season. Well, IG-11 is rebuilt by the Anzella mechanics to serve as Navarro's new marshal. And yeah, that was season 3 of The Mandalorian. This is nowhere near as good as the first season or the second season. Episode 1 was okay. It was decent. Episode 2 was good. Episode 2 was good. 3 was not. 4 which one was 4 with the large raptor? It was okay. So 5 I enjoyed. The Gunfire episode was not good. And the last 2 were good. So very half and half here. I just wish, I hope they're setting it up in the future to where to where they're going to be up, maybe go back to basics with Mando and Grogu just going around doing their thing. I'm curious who the villain will be next season. So I know they're already writing season 4, or they finished writing it. It could still be Moff Gideon, but I doubt it. I've read theories saying that he may have survived because this Moff Gideon did not have a mustache like the previous ones did, and all the clones also didn't have mustaches. So this could have been a clone. But I don't know if I believe that or not. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I guess I go ahead and rate season 3. If I were to rate season 3, The Mandalorian, I'd have to give it a 6 out of 10. I hate that I have to do that, but this season was just not up to the standard that it could be. And it's really unfortunate. But I enjoyed the 2 ending episodes, and there were a couple in there that I liked. But other than that, I really think, here's my honest thought. If instead of in Book of Boba Fett, they just focused on Boba's story and didn't bring in Mando. I mean, you brought in Mando, but they should not have reunited him with Grogu in a spin-off show. I think that was a really bad decision on their part. This season should have been Mando away from Grogu and then realizing, wait, I need this kid back. And I think that would have been a lot better of a season. And then this whole story could be season 4. But yeah, I don't know. I read that Tamora Morrison said that he was supposed to show up in this season. He was waiting for the call, but he never got the call. They told him he was supposed to show up. And that's what I thought too. I thought I'd read that Boba Fett was going to be in it, but he wasn't. Strange. So it makes me wonder if they did any last minute rewrites to the story. I don't know. I it's really unfortunate, but hopefully they get their act together. So that's my review of the Mandalorian season 3. Next show we'll be reviewing is Andor. Next episode we'll start with that. I may be a couple weeks before I do another episode, mainly because I want to have time to watch the 12 episodes, right? Maybe I'll do half and half. I don't know. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, Ahsoka comes out in August. We'll definitely be doing that. I'm excited for Ahsoka. We need to do Clone Wars and Rebels. Probably do that soon. We'll see. I may not review any of that. I can just mention it that I'm watching it and where I'm at. But yeah, I think that's about everything to talk about this week. Hey, CB, come here. Why don't you tell the people here? Speaking of the microphone, tell the people what you thought of the Mandalorian season 3. Really? You liked it? That's really weird. And I seem to recall that at the end of Kenobi, the best episode was the finale, and you seemed to hate on that episode, but you liked this. Your opinions on the Star Wars content is irrelevant. You can go now. Oh. Wow. Whoa. Okay. That droid's got a mouth on him. All right. Well, I guess. Actually, you know what? CB, come back over here. We're getting ready to end this off. And you just say bye. All right. We're getting ready to end this off. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of the Galactic Burrito. I'm so happy we're back. What a blast. It's really weird just talking with me and my robot here. It's really strange. I'm not used to doing an episode without Lana. Anything I gotta plug you guys on? Sunday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Monday on YouTube. We got an episode of the Comic Burrito, normal episode. Not sure if we'll do an extra beef this week. We might. I don't think we will. But we'll be doing The Boys. Hopefully, is the next extra beef. The Boys season 1, that is. And anything else to speak on streams? I'm gonna try to stream this weekend. I might not be able to. We'll see. I'll be doing the quarry. That being said, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here. So thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of the Galactic Burrito. And as always, may the Force be with you. Say goodbye, CB. Goodbye, everyone.